Hello, everybody. I am Andy, coming to you from the United Kingdom.
And I'm Scott, and I'm still in Canada.
Lucky you.
I'm still Scott, and I'm still in
You're
Canada.
still Scott, you're still in Canada. And this is still the Tea and Timbits podcast, global perspectives on business development to help you prosper, but not to help you speak. This week, we are going to be talking about letting go. And it's the final episode of our entrepreneurial themed series that we've been doing now through the month of August, and so it certainly seems like this is us letting go of a particular theme, but that's not the purpose or what we mean by letting go. We will tell you more about that in just a moment, but first, Scott, you have a story for us.
We're also very sorry for putting the Frozen theme song in your head now. So,
oh no, you've done it to
me. And now it's in his head.
Oh no. Right, now we have to change the topic or change the title of the episode.
Yeah, not happening. Funny story before I get into my actual story. Just before we hit record, I was just checking my inbox, and we have a contact form on the website, and it's kind of a catch-all for anything, and we get all kinds of things through it, and sometimes you even get a client who reaches out to you that way. A lot of times it's like we can provide services, you can outsource to us, and we should be the best business partners ever. The one that just came in to a corporate contact form was somebody selling spells. They could cast a spell to provide prosperity, to solve problems, and it was 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Okay. Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That was not the story I was going to tell. Right. I was going to tell a story about internal process validation. So we are a growing business, and we have definitely been feeling in the past year that some of the things that we used to be able to do well are no longer being done as well as we know that they should be getting done. And there's all kinds of different reasons for that, and you could just kind of point blame and whatnot. But what we are doing at the moment is a series of internal workshops to say, where's the pain? Where does everybody feel is the priority level for solving these different pains? And what are people's perspectives on potential solutions for some of these, some of this friction that we are encountering? And we're getting all kinds of great feedback, and there is external factors, but there's also internal factors.
Yeah.
But we did it. I was in one of these conversations yesterday. It's very hard, by the way, to just let everybody else speak when you're sort of the business owner in this situation. But somebody on staff pinged me after the fact to say, that was really good. Do you think we could do this like on a monthly basis? And not because like we have so many problems and so much friction and we should be working on it all the time, but because in the conversation, it surfaced that there are certain people who have certain challenges that are already sort of solved, or for them more of an annoyance, for somebody else almost a minor inconvenience, or somebody else doesn't even deal with it. And just to be aware that somebody else, and so there were these little sort of ancillary benefits and quick fixes that a lot of people got for their individual circumstances.
Okay. Yeah.
In addition to, yes, we had a broader conversation about the theme of some of our overarching broader themes and processes that we're going to continue to work on together. But I thought I would share that as sort of we set out to achieve one thing, and we're still working on that, but it had this excellent additional benefit. And we certainly don't operationalize the process of talking about internal friction. So maybe we will on some cadence going forward.
I like how it can often be the case as well, is that you do something for one particular purpose and then something else positive comes out of it as well. It's it's very rewarding, because then at least you're doing something right.
Right. So I don't know if that parallels to a theme of letting go, but let's see where the conversation leads us.
That's right. This is I mean, I what I want people to get out of this discussion really is that understanding that letting go of things is crucial for growth and innovation and so on. And holding on to outdated practices is the sort of, or failing product or whatever it may be. Also, unproductive team members. That's
Ooh.
the thing, is that, those three things, I think, outdated practices, failing products, and unproductive team members. If you're holding on to those things, you are holding your business back. And that's what I see very, very regularly in the companies that I've been working with, in the places where you have issues, and it doesn't matter what industry it is, it's those things that are holding people back. But it's also being clear about how to identify those and how to deal with those is the key, and identifying what to let go of, because it may be that it looks like it's an unproductive team member, but actually it's a failing product, or it may be that it's a failing product but it looks like it's an outdated practice. So it's really important to be clear of it before you start taking any decisions or actions. But ultimately, I want people to come away from this understanding that don't keep hold of things that aren't working.
Right. And I guess from an entrepreneur, in our theme of entrepreneurial issues and challenges in the month of August here, this is more in my mind about things that your time as the entrepreneur are better suited to, that, and letting go of some of those things that are better managed or addressed by somebody else for a variety of different reasons.
Yeah, it's about focusing on the long-term vision and greater good of the business, really, isn't it?
For some entrepreneurs, absolutely. I think most people who start a business, who are entrepreneurial, it is probably more because they need to be working on the business. Although I see a lot, especially in the tech sector, a lot of entrepreneurs who are the founder of the idea. They built the first version of the software.
Yeah, okay.
They are the inventor, but they are not a business person. And so it's not always about letting go of the doing and focusing on the building. Sometimes it's the other way around.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid point. I mean, in your experience, what is the best way to what is the best process for letting go of something?
That's a really good question, because I don't think that I really know. I think that it often happens in my mind too late for me anyway. So it's doing things so long, and just knowing that, like, you know what, I can just do that. I can just figure that out. I know I can address that, solve that, produce that in a nanosecond. And somebody else, boy, it's gonna take them a very long time to build the context, awareness, understanding, and confidence to as efficiently provide the solution. And when I can do it quickly, they can do something else. And so I find myself in that trap on a regular basis, and avoiding supporting somebody else's skill to eventually get to that same point, or recognizing when they're doing something that they should let go of because they need to be focusing on higher value things. So
do you feel that that process of letting go is something that should happen quickly, or is something that can happen or should happen gradually over time to minimize the impact on the team and the operations?
I'm giving you non-answers here because I also don't think I really have a good answer.
I don't think there is a fixed answer. I think it is very circumstantial,
but it has to be done with intention. I think, I guess, to answer your first question is how does this done? You have to have some focused time to reflect on this. And if I go back to my story at the top of the episode here, socialize it with the group, find out where your friction points, where your challenges are, where your opportunities are, where things are not being done or they are being done, and get the feedback from the team, because maybe somebody else can do it, wants to do it. It will point out for you that you shouldn't be doing it. So I think without having some intentional capacity to reflect on the contribution that you do make, it's almost impossible to have the self-awareness for everything that you should or should not be doing.
Would you say that there's a different process of letting go of products and services, letting go of outdated practices, letting go of personnel? Or would you say that there's a similar approach to all of those, that it's all based on data, fact, and risk assessments for the impact that they would have?
I mean, I think it's much easier to measure for underperforming products and services and people. You can simply see utilization, productivity, behavior analysis. You can see profitability, revenue, that kind of thing. And that's sort of an easier measure often than sort of some of the individual contributions. When you're excelling at something, sometimes those are the things you need to let go. So sometimes it's not like underperforming things need to be let go.
Okay.
Right. So one, I think there's a trap there where there's an underperforming thing that you should let go, and you try to hold on to it. You try to rescue it. You overinvest in bringing it back. Or you just don't want to let that client go or whatnot, because they've been great to work with for 10 years, but they take too much of your time now. When you have something on the other side, which is this is just working really, really well. It can also be something for you to individually. It doesn't mean the business necessarily lets go of it, but it's reallocation. It's passing it on. It might lose efficiency because somebody else needs to take more time to do the same thing. So I think that's where the difference is in my mind.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I think ultimately, if you want to succeed with with letting go, it's very easy to be drawn into focusing on, this thing isn't working, or this thing isn't working as I want it to, or this thing isn't performing as it should do, or this thing isn't giving the results that we wanted. But I think so long as you stay true to your business vision, your focusing on your core strengths and making sure that it's in the name of innovation and evolution of the business, then I think you're going to be okay. And then it may be that you dial back on something, or that you increase other things, or that you go, actually, this is our highest performing product, but it doesn't match with our goal. Do we change the entire vision of the company to go that way, or do we actually adjust and spin that off into something else, and then continue with our original goal and vision and focus on that with the resources that we have? There's many different outcomes depending on the scenarios and circumstances you're in. The key message is being willing to actually look at it, not get stuck in the same way and repeating the same old things, but actually continually looking at it. Like we said last week, it's important to have that reflection on the business and be prepared to evolve, and working on the business will allow you to do that, as well as working in the business.
And I kind of find the word innovation a little bit cringe sometimes, but I really like it in this context. I think that is something you need to think about whether or not is part of your corporate culture and business posture. If you want to be advancing and innovating, you cannot expect it to just fall in your lap or to just organically happen. You have to think about whether or not you are maintaining a certain level of innovation. And if you are advancing, and to advance, you have to let go. Not necessarily in equal weights, but something has to give, something has to change, something has to grow, something has to advance if that is going to take place.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses that I have worked with, clients, whatnot, business partners, they get very comfortable in their lane, and then they shift out of an innovative posture into an operating posture. And And some of them do it with intention and be like, you know what, I got it to this point and I'm happy and I like the lifestyle, or, you know, I was able to go public and somebody else just took it and integrated it in as a standard line item, a standard SKU, whatever. And I'm not saying there's necessarily anything bad about that, as long as, again, it's sort of done with intention. It's like, you know what, I'm going to accept the fact that this is where we are now, and I get to let go of in that point is as much working on the business as I used to, and now I have more time to do some other adventure, whether that's personal or professional.
That's true, but I think as well, this idea of continuous improvement is more natural in the entrepreneurial environment, because of course it comes from, you know, that desire to see something that needs to change and embrace that and take that to the market. But it's important, as you say, to ensure that that's there, but it's done in the right way, and that you're not just changing for the sake of changing. Oh, you know, Scott and Andy said on the podcast we need to change and innovate. Okay, we'll do that. You know, it's got to be for a real purpose, and not to say that we're wrong, but you know, we don't know your business, so
that's right. And I mean, if all else fails, just reach out, get in touch, and I'll give you a magic spell in order to solve it.
Be careful, all those spells might turn into curses.
I think that was a different offer.
Very good, very good. I think we've concluded this episode and this series very well. And you know, even though we were talking about letting go, the conclusive message that we had at the end there was about innovation and growth. And I think ultimately this is what it's all about. If you want to succeed in business, you've got to be willing to innovate. You've got to embrace the ideas and the entrepreneurial mindset, as we said, into an existing business, no matter what the size. Keep all of these things in mind. Go back, listen to some of the other episodes and have a think about that. And
the only constant is change.
There we go. Please go to tandtimbits.com to find out ways to get in touch with us, propose new series ideas, and to give us feedback on the series that you've just listened to about entrepreneurial development. And listen to future episodes by signing up and subscribing on the same website as well. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks, everybody.